Well, the folks at USA Today and Suffolk University dropped a new poll specific to black voters. And so I want to talk about that with you. This is the headline right here. Key takeaways from a new poll of black voters. Third parties gain ground as Biden struggles to keep his edge. Trump fails to gain ground among black voters. So in this particular piece, it shows off that Biden is sagging among black voters. They polled black voters in Michigan and Pennsylvania, and it shows you the complicated dynamics. They surveyed 500 black voters in each state, taken by landline and cell phone from June 9th to June 13th. The margin of error is plus or minus 4.4%. So here are the takeaways. 76% of those surveyed in each state said they voted for Biden 4 years ago. Now his support has fallen 20 percentage points in Pennsylvania to 56% and 22 points in Michigan to 54%. And then it says the top reason volunteered by respondents in the survey was discontent with the job he's done in the White House, followed by worries about his age and mental acuity. Third was concern about wars, including his support for Israel and the conflict in Gaza. Now, he was viewed favorably 61 to 31% in Michigan, 59 to 33% in Pennsylvania. And then, of course, if you go forward here, you will see that black voters are now sold on Trump. In 15 black voters compared with 2020, 11% in Pennsylvania. 11% in Pennsylvania like Trump compared to 8% in 2020. Now, it shows right here, by more than 2 to 1, Trump drew more support from black men than black women, by 22% to 9% in Michigan and 16% to 6% in Pennsylvania. Now, he's overall is viewed more negatively than Biden. His unfavorable is 3 to 1, 72% to 23%. Pennsylvania is 79 to 15. Now, here's what's interesting. Kamala Harris, according to these polls, is less popular than Biden among black voters. Among black voters in those states, her unfavorable rating is 60% to 24% and 55% to 30% in Pennsylvania. So President Obama still is very favorable ratings there as well. And so if you look at this here in the ranking in Pennsylvania, favorable to unfavorable is Obama highest, Biden second, Kamala Harris. Okay, we're going to fix my microphone here. What this shows you right is that the Biden campaign, that first thing, concerned about the job that he's doing, where I have been saying this repeatedly, they have failed Congo to message what they've done. And I believe, and I said this last year, they should have spent January to August holding sessions, holding town halls, laying out what they've done. Not just ads. You got to be on the ground having lengthy conversations, driving content on black-owned media, putting out surrogates, specifically talking about policy. They haven't done that.
And I believe it was in Pennsylvania a couple of weeks ago when you were talking about your frustration with them having an event and not even letting Black Star Network or other black media know, basically until the day of, that you're like, I could have been there. So really, I'm just hoping, Roland, because you've been talking about this for so long and they've been so slow to wake up to it. I just hope it's not too late. When I see what they did, last week at the Concerned Black Men, the other event, in Atlanta, when they're talking to the Earn Your Leisure brothers and stuff. Hopefully that they're doing more of that. There needs to be somebody who has a regular appearance on this show, a weekly appearance, like I see, Buttigieg and all of these other guys on other networks, regularly, Mitch Landrieu and the others. They definitely got a late start, And, the Trump folks, they stay committed. We're dealing with a guy who basically has, between the National Enquirer, the Wall Street Journal, and the New York Post, he has his media wing, to help him put out all types of stories. And they're pushing them to so many parts of our community. And so I believe that the Biden administration, it needs to go into overdrive. I definitely believe that some of these numbers in terms of how Black people look at Biden versus Trump are not entirely accurate, but it doesn't matter because, as you've always said, this election is going to be played out on the margins. And one of the things I don't want the Biden administration to do is kind of say that, well, we've kind of dropped the ball, we missed the mark with Black voters, and so now we're just going to focus on the independent voters. Now we're just going to focus on the Nikki Haley voters. Now we're just going to focus on those guys who can be swayed, because if more Black people start to feel like the attention they already were not getting is actually starting to be diverged more towards other groups, then it is going to be a wrap. So I believe that they got off to a late start. It's not too late to turn it around, but they need to go into overdrive, and they need to be aggressive with Black media markets, starting with the Black Star Network, where over 60% of viewers are Black men.
See, this is the thing that, again, I don't understand why this is so difficult, Julian. And this is what I mean. If somebody says, I'm not happy with the job that you're doing, I then go, okay, what specifically? When I encounter people and they say, you know what, matter of fact, well, like when we did the panel at 100 Black Men, when this brother said, I hear from a lot of brothers and I agree that that the Biden-Harris folks have not done anything for straight Black men. Now, I then said, what would you like for them to do? Then when he stated that, I said, got it. They've done this. This is why you've got to be having these conversations, because I need to be hearing from people and then giving the counter to what they say, and now they have real information. How do we know that works? Terrence Woodbury's research shows it. The focus groups that he's done, they say people go, man, I ain't feeling them. They ain't done this. Then when told they did do this, the focus group flips. This ain't complicated. But you cannot do that just running a 30-second ad. You've got to be on the ground. The Biden-Harris campaign, and I haven't seen it. And yeah, I thought that was a piss poor launch, Blacks for Biden-Harris, and some campaign folks were like, oh, I was very satisfied. I'm like, the hell were you looking at? My deal is, and then there were some events that happened that weekend in Virginia. Okay, who did y'all tell? They're right. This is what I should be getting right now. I should be getting in conversations in 10 cities this week. And they're going to be live streamed. And then here are the 10 cities we're in next week. Not just what the vice president is doing, but I'm talking about getting with your partners. Okay, if I'm the Biden-Harris campaign and I'm trying to do this in Houston, you know what I'm saying? Hey, Jolanda, I need you to do one of these events in your district.
Mm-hmm. So you
See,
know what?
Wait, hold on. I'm going, Julian, I'm going to come back to you. Julian, this is the problem that I'm not seeing that. And I know some people are going, oh, people are not paying attention. It's too early. They're paying attention, Julian. But the campaign, they're trying to run a 2020, 2016, 2012, 2008, 2004, 2000, 1996, 1992, 1988, 1984, 1980, 1976, 1972, 1968 campaign, and you can't run that in 2024.
No, Roland, you're absolutely right. I mean, Omar Congo gave a series of very important suggestions. Cabinet members showed up on this show or other shows on a weekly basis. I see them, Buttigieg shows up a lot. I see him showing up a lot. But how about empowering some other people? How about reaching out to Marsha Fudge, formerly at HUD, and said, Marsha, come on and be a surrogate for us. She did such a great job at HUD. She could do that. And Adrian Todman, who basically succeeded her at HUD, is also an excellent communicator. I mean, what is not excellent is the way the campaign is being run. They are not paying attention at all. They are simply, and you say 2016, how did that turn out for y'all? I mean, when you think about the fact that Hillary could have won, but she did not pay attention.
Hold up, and guess what, Julia? Guess what? And I told everybody this here. I told y'all this. In 2016, 60 days out, we were at Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, AOC, and I'm sitting at the table of Congressman Jim Clyburn. Congressman Clyburn had his table come to the back. Now, we thought we were going meet and greet with Obama. No, it was Hillary. And she was doing photos. And so I told my wife, I said, yo, I need you to go in front of me. I need you to go introduce you first. I need to say some stuff to her. So I'm being straight up. So she comes up. Now, mind you, that was a Saturday. I told the black people on the campaign on Thursday, I said, y'all, this is what I'm gonna do. I said, now listen to me clearly. I'm going on MSNBC Friday, and I'm going on MSNBC Saturday morning, and I'm gonna say this. I was very public about it. So I told, these are the black people on the campaign. So then Saturday comes, and so my wife introduced, we take a picture. I say, and I need everybody to listen to me. This is Hillary. This is how close Hillary was to me. Let me put it right here. I said, Senator, I need you to understand something. There is significant energy on his side and not on yours. I said, I can't even get black male surrogates to come on Tom Joyner Morning Show and to come on my TV One show. I said, Senator, I'm telling you, if your campaign does not change, you are going to be a bridesmaid again. She goes, Huma, Marlon, I need y'all to talk to Roland. So I go over, she's taking more pictures. I'm talking to Huma and Marlon Marshall. Marlon Marshall was the highest ranking African American on the campaign. He had this constipated look on his face. He was like, he was mad as hell that I had the audacity to say what I was saying. And I said, I need y'all to understand something. Y'all got a black male problem. I said that was a 9-point gap between black men and black women in 2012 with Obama and Romney. I said, y'all are not listening to the ground. And so, Huma, Marlon. Then Hillary finishes photos. She comes over and she says, if Roland is not getting these people on his show, others clearly are. Marlon don't say nothing. He like a mute. Wow. Huma goes, Madam Secretary, we're gonna get it taken care of. She goes, get it done. That's what Hillary says. And she walks off to go talk to then Congresswoman Marsha Fudge. Y'all, this is no lie. This was a Saturday night. I got the emails. The next day, I'm like, can y'all get me Alvin Brown, former mayor of Jacksonville, or some other, because Huma asked me, well, when you say black men, do you mean like members of Congress? I said, no, not members of Congress. I said, they can't message this. I mean black entrepreneurs, other black men, grassroots activists. I said, y'all got John Legend, y'all got Magic, y'all got other people. How y'all not using them? Y'all, no lie. Next day, by the way, before we go to the next day, Then the emails start flying around. Now the black people in the campaign mad at me. Damn, Roland, what you do? I said, I told y'all Negroes what I was gonna do, because that's gonna empower y'all, because y'all been saying. So the next day, I sent emails. Who could I get? Literally 12 hours go by. They did not confirm me a single surrogate. I think I ended up calling Donna Brazile, saying, hey, can you come on Tom Joyner on Monday morning? I literally just said, the Hillary people hired Zerlina Maxwell and Jamira Burley to appear on black outlets. I had Zerlina and Jamira on my show on the regular. I could not get Jamira and Zerlina on my damn show. And that's why they were brought on the campaign. Because you had some white girls who were over black surrogates who didn't know black people and who didn't know black media.
But you know what, Roland? The problem with the Hillary campaign, and it's going to be the same thing with the Biden campaign if they don't straighten up and fly right, the problem is that they were arrogant. They basically took the black community for granted. They didn't feel like anybody was going to go for Trump. But now there's evidence that people do, but they're still not paying attention. I mean, we all have battle stripes from 16 and even from 20. We're not paying attention, ended up with these razor-thin margins. I think we talked about last week, Mandela Barnes, who could have been a United States senator. But in Wisconsin, as an example, you know who they sent to organize Milwaukee? 2 little vanilla girls, one of whom was afraid. She didn't last a month. She was afraid of the neighborhood. She was afraid of the black people. As she ran with her tail tucked between her legs out of there within 30 days, her other little friend, and they were both very young, recent college graduates. Come on now. Again, the campaign, if they want to get reelected, and we want them to get reelected because, you know, we know what time it is. I read Project 2025. You know, we do not want that crazy man in the White House. He's already said he's going to be a dictator from day one. What do we know about power?
But I don't even.
Nobody gives up power. So if you're dictator day one, you're going to be dictator for the rest of the month.
But Julian, I don't actually even have to make the argument about how awful Trump is. I could actually say this is what has happened under Biden Harris has been beneficial. Jolanda, the reason I laid out what I just laid out is because, okay, so this is middle of June. So you got July, August, September, October, and then you got the week in November. So you really got 4 months and 3 weeks. Again, this is just me. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm crazy, Jolanda. Maybe I'm crazy.
But you ain't crazy.
No, follow me. Maybe I'm nuts. But if I'm sitting here going, okay, all of the black state representatives, state senators in Florida, I'm gonna say, can each one of you do a town hall once a week? So you got this week. That way, boom. And what you're doing is you take it to the community. You know what you're doing? You're pulling data going, okay, here are the precincts, got it. In these 3-4 precincts, turnout was 25-28%. We want y'all to hold the thing in this precinct.
But that's too much like right. You ain't crazy. We siblings from another mother. They don't listen to us, right? So I'm sitting up here chomping at the bit because here's what I know as an elected official in Texas. We literally have 16 black Democratic state reps. We are on the ground. Take me, for example. I had a primary. I didn't have an opponent. I didn't campaign. I had 11,000 voters, right? And didn't have an opponent. I know what's going on in House District 147. I literally told the Democrats, hey, we got a black problem. We got to talk to black people. And GOTV costs money. And even if we go back to Beto in 2022, we told Beto he was a fundraising machine, I said to Beto, if you contribute to my campaign, $85,000. I can get the voters in House District 147. I can cover the polls, all of early vote. I can cover the polls on election day, and I can get you on black TV and black media because that's my base, right? Beto was like, no, I ain't gonna spend no money on that. So you have white people who think they know black people, and they use, like you said, these strategies that I guess worked back in the 90s or 2000, and they're just not listening. Even now, when you talk to the Texas Democratic Party and you're saying, hey, we got a black problem, and you can see that it's not just in Texas, it's across the country, then they want to ostracize you. When the president comes to town, don't even tell black elected officials, don't invite us, say, hey, you got to give money. Let me be clear. My constituents love me, right? The black community in House District 147 loves me. If I go and say, hey, Biden did this, and this is how he helped you, and I'm on the radio saying it, and I'm having town halls. I'm about to have a town hall this week on Thursday. I'm in connection. I'm in communication with my constituents, but the party doesn't want to listen to it. And then when we say stuff to them, then they don't want us to speak at the convention because they want for us to sign off on their archaic and culturally incompetent campaigns. And let me tell you something, Roland, I absolutely agree with you that we are running out of freaking time. We just are. I could be a surrogate. Senator Miles, your frat brother, could be a surrogate. Senator Royce West could be a surrogate. Now, they use Royce because Royce has been around for a long time, but there are people they literally do not use because they've decided that the only people that they want to promote or they want to have speak for them are people who parrot what they say. And when I say to them, you're not talking about things that resonate with black people, we are struggling. A lot of us aren't not voting because we don't believe in the process. Hell, we trying to pay our rent. We trying to pay our mortgage. We trying to pay our car note. We trying to pay our daycare for kids. We working overtime. So it's not that we're not paying attention because we don't care. We're not paying attention because we are living day-to-day life and we struggling and having programs canceled that will give us $500 a month. And so what I'm saying is they need to use us. We are an asset to go to our communities. We know where they're handing out free food at the Third Ward Multi-Service Center. We know where they have cooling centers with this damn heat wave where it's burning up and you need to go there. We know where these places are, but the Democratic Party, at least in Texas and in Harris County, they're not listening to the black electeds because they're just taking black vote for granted. Now, and I think when we're dealing with the margins, that the 2-to-1 black men, as you said, Roland, that are voting for Trump over Biden, that's going to be the difference in the damn election. So whenever they're ready to use us for the superpowers that we have, I'm ready, willing, and able. But right now, they only want us to meet if we contribute to the president's campaign. Well, guess what? I'm spending the money I got to reach out to black voters. That is my base. And they need to be trying to help me do that to promote them. Because, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So this is what I have been saying for the longest. And what I said, and I said, y'all pull the tape. I said this in 2022. I said it in 2020. I said, don't give money to I said, black people, don't give money to the campaigns.
Said it.
Mm-hmm. I said, give your money to black groups. Mm-hmm. I don't, guess what? I haven't gotten a single call from 10, 20, 30 black millionaires saying we're going to create a $10 million black GOTV fund. And that black GOTV fund, and see, for everybody who's listening, and I know some people are listening, they going, Roland, you ain't never run for office. You ain't never worked on a campaign. I'm like, you're right. But do you know how many nights I fell asleep when mama and daddy was working the campaign? Do y'all understand my mama and daddy, who just celebrated 57 years of marriage last week, how many phone banks they ran? Do y'all know how many times that me, my brother, and my sister, and my two younger sisters, they were way too young, were putting out yard signs of candidates Oh yeah, I know about having to put the gloves on so you don't get splinters in your damn hand for no damn yard signs. Do y'all know do y'all know how many campaigns on election day me and my brother were at the polls at 7 o'clock in the damn morning handing out literature for different candidates? So what I'm trying to explain to y'all ain't what I heard, it's what I know. And what I know is this election will be about margins. Let me say it again. Donald Trump won in 2016 with 77,000 votes in 3 states. Hillary Clinton campaign was stupid as hell. How in the hell did she never, ever set foot in Wisconsin? That was flat out nuts. She lost by about 10,000 votes. She lost Michigan, she lost Pennsylvania. Now, if you move fast forward to 2020, you'll say, oh my goodness, Biden, he beat Trump by big numbers in Pennsylvania, in Michigan. First of all, it really wasn't big numbers, but the bottom line is it was a good margin. Lot smaller in Georgia and Arizona and Nevada. Now 2024 is different. You got Muslims pissed off and they like, hell, we ain't voting for you in Michigan. That means your margins are going to be lower than what it was in 2020, which means you're going to have to maximize black voters, which means that what are the conversations that you are having? Again, maybe these things are happening, but if these things are happening, I can tell y'all right now, I damn sure haven't gotten any information. And if they are happening and folk like me don't know, that means you're failing. So what should be happening, and I'm just telling y'all right now, what I'm laying out to y'all ain't that damn hard. It literally says, Jolanda just said there are 16 black House members?
Democratic House members. 16
black Democratic House members. Y'all, that's 4 a month. That means there could be 4 in July, 4 in August, 4 in September, 4 in October. All you asking them to do is 1. Not 1 a month, just 1. Now all of a sudden,
but I'm having multiple.
No, I understand that. But then follow me when I'm talking about how I see it. Then you say, hey, let's just not talk to the room. Let's make sure those town halls are being streamed. So now all of a sudden, the content is now going out. And so, oh, damn, Jolanda's having a town hall. Hey, y'all, grab that stream and let's restream it on the Black Star Network. Oh, hey, Representative so-and-so in Pennsylvania, State Senator Vincent Hughes. Okay, you know what? Let's restream that because guess what? Black travels. Black carries. And so when black folks are talking in Texas, black folks in Florida are listening. Black folks in Florida are listening to black folks in Georgia. These things, we are communicating. The Hillary Clinton campaign, Donald Brazile went to them and asked them for $5 million. I think it was in August or September. They told her no for black media. She went out and raised $2 million herself. Then they wanted to tell her how to spend the $2 million. She said, y'all can't tell me how to spend the money I went out and raised. Now, they complained that I don't know why she gave money to these black media people in Illinois. Well, because they didn't quite understand that you had local campaigns in Illinois because everything just ain't about your presidential campaign. If you're getting the votes out for the local campaigns, it's also helping you in terms of your ticket as well. But what she also understands is that if you're taking care of black folks in Chicago, black people in Chicago communicating with black people all across the country. Those stories are being spread. The Atlanta Star, when they do stories, they got a massive email list. That thing is going out. It's going out. And so when this outlet or this outlet is going out, it's going out because this is about information, y'all. This is not just about ads. Don't just come over here praising Juneteenth. No, talk about the economic piece. When I say the economic piece, Kamala Harris said this in Detroit when she said 41% of black-owned businesses during COVID went out of business. We have brought back 75% of those 41%. Tell me why the campaign has never shown me any money of the 75%. It's kind of basic.
Yeah, but why are they making us pay to meet with them when they should just have, I think they should have routine conferences with the elected officials because we send out email.
Right.
We do robo-dials. We get on the radio. We're on TV like I am now.
So let me, right.
And so
let me hold up. So let me go back. I didn't complete a thought. When I was talking about black funds. So everything that I'm laying out to you, do you know who does this? Black Voters Matter. Do you know how they organize? 365. They only aren't here during elections. Do you know who does this? Until Freedom. Do you know who does this? New Georgia Project. You know who does this? Georgia Stand Up. There are groups in Milwaukee. There are groups in Philadelphia. There are groups in all of these cities around. And you know what their whole goal is? Grassroots. You know what they do? Door knocking. So when Yolanda talked about trying to get 85,000 from Beto, what she was saying to everybody who's listening and paying attention is, guess what? Those are paid jobs. So we're gonna pay you to door knock. We're gonna pay you to take this list and go, 400 people in this precinct, 78 voted in the last election. That means there are 322 people who did not. You can actually see the people and you can go directly to their door. You got to touch them. Y'all listen to what I'm telling me. Again, I ain't got to run for office to know this stuff. You got to touch those people 5 to 6 times before election day. So you got to touch them 3 times between now and the deadline to register. Then you got to touch them 3 more times from that point to the start of voting and the end of voting. That's what you have to do. And all I'm simply saying is, and I get it, oh, they're putting up field offices and doing this, that, and the other. But what I'm talking about right now, we're not having a voting conversation. Right now, we're not having a registration conversation. Right now, you need to be having an information conversation. You need to be able to say, hey, Yolanda, first of all, we're providing you, and again, here are detailed things. They finally woken up and started doing some of this stuff when you talk about the proper means that should be done. But stop sending out 5-page long-ass white papers detailing what done, this, and it's too damn broad. It's too expansive. I'll give you a perfect example. I'm going to show you this here. This is a meme. Thank God they're finally doing this. It took them forever to actually do this here. And so this was a meme the campaign sent out. Manufacturing is booming under Biden. Total construction. So here we go. Hold on. Let me zoom this up. Total construction spending, U.S. manufacturing. So, all right. So now here's the deal, y'all. Nice graphic. Okay. But the problem is, as Joe Madison would say, rest in soul, rest in peace, you ain't putting what a ghost can get it. So what you have to do is you then got to say, Yolanda, we have here the numbers, here are the manufacturing jobs created in Houston. And we say Houston, here are the areas in Houston. Here are the manufacturing jobs in Texas. So when somebody says, well, man, I ain't seen it. So then when somebody says, well, you know what? It happens all the time on my Instagram. I ain't met nobody who got student loan debt relief. Then all of a sudden, me. When Vice President Kamala Harris was in Atlanta on Friday, she specifically mentioned, hey, I'm sure y'all got some friends or family who got student loan debt. And so people start clapping. That's what she should have said, hold on. She should say, 1 second, turn the lights up. Mm-hmm. She should say, turn the lights up. She should have said, first of all, the first group that I want to stand up, if you personally have gotten student loan debt relief, please stand up. Boom. Then she should have said, those of you, Julian, you got to turn that damn clock off. Every damn time you on, that damn clock rings.
I don't know how to turn it off, Roland.
Oh my God, you drive me crazy with that goddamn clock every Monday. Anyway, okay. Then the next thing is, The next, I've been wanting to say that for about 3 damn months. I'm like, her that clock, it's 7 o'clock. Then the next thing is, okay, are you the mother or the father of somebody who's got student loan debt? Really stand up. Now, why do you do it this way? Because it's dramatic. And then you say to all the media folk, now you go talk to those folks and talk about student loan debt relief. They keep missing it. I just sit here and I'm like, my God, please, you gotta put it where the goats can get it. You gotta make this thing plain, and you got to make it personal, and you got to make it personable, and you got to be sending folks out there. You got to be saturating the ground, and then you don't run from questions. Stop having town halls where you don't take questions. I ain't afraid of no questions. I had a brother at the 100 Black Men deal, and Antoine Seawright said, well, I ain't gonna deal with that straight part. I said, hell, I will. See, I ain't afraid of nobody asking a question. You gotta be able to give it to folk on the spot. And that to me is the struggle. And guess what? The data is there. They are in low 60s. 62% of Black people said they're likely going to vote. I keep saying the couch is real. The couch is real. It is an option. And it's not just Cornel West or Robert F. Kennedy, it's the couch. But you've got to make it plain to people that the couch is not an option. And in fact, you got to take on the couch. You got to take on the couch. You got to, you know what? And again, I don't do commercials, but if I was doing a commercial, you know what I would do? I would sit here and I would have a camera. It's on a Black family sitting on a couch. And then all of a sudden, and it's like people are frustrated, they're concerned. But you know what? We did this. We did this. We did this. We did this. Trump wants to get rid of this. He wants to get rid of this. He believes that anti-white racism is more important than it is Black racism. When hate crimes are impacting African Americans more than anybody else. I don't understand how last week the Department of Justice issued a Patterns and Practices report on a Phoenix Police Department, and we didn't hear a damn thing coming from Karine Jean-Pierre at the White House podium. I don't understand how they keep putting people in jail, wardens and jailers in the Department of Justice, and hell, Karine don't say a damn thing from the podium. Listen, if you are holding people accountable, you can tout money for more cops while holding folks accountable. And guess what? Maybe if you explain all the stuff that Kristen Clark and the DOJ and the Civil Rights Division are doing, then people might not think you ain't done a damn thing on criminal justice reform. But you got to open your damn mouth and make it plain. Final comment, Julian Amakongo, Jolanda, before I go to break.
I had a question for Jolanda. She said that the party was making y'all pay money to meet with candidates.
Oh,
I really need clarification on that, because that's
when the federal people come. When the president comes or Kamala comes, they say you got to give money to meet with them. What kind of sense does that make? It doesn't make a lick of sense. You literally have the elected delegation go speak with them so that they can give us talking points. It's the dumbest shit I ever heard in my life. Doesn't make a lick of sense to me. And they're literally terrified of differences of opinion. It's almost like we're Republicans where they expect for you to be sheep. The party needs to listen to what the real problems are, sort of like you listen when somebody is an addict. You've got to acknowledge you have a problem, figure out what the damn problem is, and deal with the problem. The party doesn't want to hear that. They want people who say, yeah, you're right. And it is absolutely either disenfranchising Black people. I'm about to make this word up. It's causing Black people to just not care about the party because they think they don't care. And I think we need to tackle the problem head on, and they need to stop making us pay to meet with the president or his surrogates so that we can go carry their damn water. Doesn't make a lick of sense to me.
I had misheard you. I was praying that I had misheard you, because that makes no sense at all. But the entire case that's been made here makes no sense if people care about outcomes. And the outcome must be that orange man cannot go back into the White House. That must be the outcome. And I think, Roland has laid it out. Everybody on the panel has laid it out. But who has not heard us is the Democratic Party. And I mean, I'm a yellow dog Democrat. I mean, I'd vote for a yellow dog Democrat, been one all my life. But the Democratic Party is letting us down. And that's the challenge, and that's the problem, is that they're letting us down with their piss-poor campaigning. I didn't say that. Yes, I did. With their piss-poor campaigning, with their myopic view of how campaigns are supposed to be run, and with basically an ignorance, tone-deaf ignorance about the Black community. So, Roland, you keep doing what you're doing because it's important. I think that it was so important last week to see the vice president at the 100 Black Men. It's so important to see her and the others, and I hope that people are paying you. That's all I'm saying. I hope that people are paying you because they paying everybody else.
Well,
and,
trust me, we're still waiting. Makongo, go ahead.
Look, the fact of the matter is this is Biden's election to lose. And there are so many lessons that you just ran down. We're talking about 2016. We're talking about 2020. We, excuse me, every single day when we look at this campaign, we see opportunities squandered. When we talked about that Blacks for Biden event in Pennsylvania, I remember Rebecca Carruthers was on the show. She was like, I was there that day and didn't even know about it. And she's a political organizer and commentator. And so if Biden really wants to solidify this thing, he has to double down on his Black support. He has to listen to Black statisticians, Black pollsters. If they don't increase their Black media presence, that's the ultimate slap in the face, because everybody can talk about, well, we need Black celebrity endorsements and rappers and all of this other type of stuff. It's the Black media, it's the newspapers, the podcasts, the TV shows, all of that. That's where you're going to see the real mark. And then lastly, going back to what you said earlier, also, Roland, putting that money on the ground of organizations like Black Voters Matter, listening to what Representative Jones just said about what she could have done for Beto O'Rourke if they were just willing to cough up the money. We are giving it to them. We are feeding them. And all we're saying, Roland, is respect us enough to give us that damn money and give us that damn time, and we'll work wonders for you. And if they don't listen, it's on them.
Jolanda, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just saying, Roland, people think that people just come out to vote. As a person who grew up poor, my mom was working overtime. She done forgot about stuff. She's struggling. She worried about whether the lights gonna get turned off. It costs money to get out to vote. GOTV is not free. These campaigns are paying people. They paying people who they think are important, and they paying the wrong damn people. I'm gonna say this one more again. That's Ebonics. They need to pay us to help us get the vote out. In my district, I know who likes me. I know who doesn't like me. I know who voted. I know who didn't vote. I know the issues that resonate in my district. I know the issues that do not. I just know those things because I have a politically scientific campaign, and I have very good people. And as I said, I do robo-dials. I do radio. I do little commercials. I do Facebook ads. If people will come to vote for me, the question is, are the people that are coming to vote for me going to vote for the other people on the ballot? So I could very easily say, hey, when you vote for me, vote for Biden. Hey, when you vote for me, vote for Colin Allred. When you vote for me, vote for this person. When you vote for me, vote straight down the ticket. But they are not paying us. They take us for granted. And I hope and I pray that Trump doesn't win, because all of our civil rights are going to be set back, and the Supreme Court is going to be screwed so much that my granddaughter is going to have less rights than I have right now, and that doesn't make a lick of sense. And so I hope the Democratic Party is listening. You guys aren't doing right. If you don't listen to Roland Martin, the man, Merlin, I'm about to give you a commercial. Roland Martin, who started off on white media.
Actually, I started off on Black, but go ahead.
But no, I know you would like KCOH and stuff like that. I'm talking about when you're on MSNBC and CNN and doing all this stuff. You had to start your own Black media, because you know what? We are thirsty. We Black people are thirsty to hear from people who understand what we go through and the issues that are important to us. And that's what in the hell you talk about. You're not going to see this on MSNBC. You're not going to see this on Fox. You're not going to see it. If they don't listen to you, then shame on them. Because the one thing I can say about you, Roland, is you know exactly what resonates with Black people. And I'm going to say it again, the Democratic Party across the country has a Black problem. And they better start listening.
I have said to numerous people, I travel more around this country talking to Black people than anybody they got on their campaign. And anybody,
and you go to the Tom Joyner cruise. You go with people, older people, and they talk politics.
I talk to regular black folk in the airports, in the convenience store, all the time. And so this is what I keep saying to black people. I do not believe we have to wait on a party or a candidate. We have institutions, and so if you go, Henry, pull it up. This is blackvotersmatterfund.org. They do the work. If y'all want to support a group, and let me tell you something right now, they actually support this show. They have supported us from day one as well. So we have got to also we have to fund our own institutions. We've got to fund, because see, let me be real clear. This is where all of these little fools, oh man, you sitting here, you caping for the Democrats. No, I'm caping for black people.
There you go.
I'm looking at policy, and I'm caping for black people. And so we need to be, if you're gonna sit here and give money to a candidate, I say give it to Black Voters, matterfund.org. Give it to Repairs of the Breach, the Poor People's Campaign, because they're trying to mobilize poor and low-wage workers in 15 states across. Y'all, there are people who are actually doing the work, who understand the data, and we don't have to explain to them how important black people are. And so let's make that happen, because again, this is about us. This ain't about Biden, not about Trump. This is about us. But we also have to understand whoever wins is going to have a direct impact on us.
Somebody's killing poor people, and it's going on.
When COVID happened, poor people were dying at a rate already of 800 people a day. Before COVID, if you went to a funeral every single day, it would take you 600 years to attend all the funerals of the people who will die from the ravages of policy violence, poverty, and low wages in America in just 1 year. It would take you 2 years and 19 days to go to all of the funerals of the people that will die today, and oftentimes silence. Nobody talks about this political genocide, but we are determined today to remember their death and be a resurrection of voting power and voice power like never before.
Economic justice and saving this democracy are deeply connected. We, as a nation, must listen to the demands of the poor, who are pushing and will continue to push political candidates and elected leaders to lift from the bottom so that everybody can rise.
We are the poor, the marginalized, and the underpaid. And we are taking one step forward to say that everybody has a right to live.
Poverty is not the fault of those who are impoverished. It is caused by those who make the policy.
There are over 135 million poor and low-wage, low-income people in this nation.
The biggest block of potential voters by far is low-income, low-wage voters.
I can't afford medicine. Sometimes I have to skip because of the cost.
The farm worker community is tired of the violence imposed upon us by greed, exclusion, and denial of basic human rights.
Those folk that represented by that casket, poor and low-wage workers who are the most moral people in this country because they go to work every day believing, even though going to work is hazardous to their health.
I'm tired of working 70 to 80 hours a week and still not have money for the necessity of bills. I'm tired of getting sick and not being able to go see the doctor. Having to make a choice to pay between rent or the light bill or food or clothes.
You cannot claim to care about families and a culture of life and then do everything in your power to rob people of equal access to resources and to force them to live in poverty.
Leadership of both parties have waged war on poor people and low-wage workers.
And this government has treated people experiencing poverty, including their military families, with disdainful, deliberate, malicious neglect.
So the truth is that my son died from poverty.
We refuse to accept poverty as the fourth leading cause of death.
The fourth leading cause of death in this, the richest country in the world.
We march today for our children and the generations to come. And we need to do it with the loudest voices possible, the biggest actions possible.
We will voice our demands and register our vote.
When we stand up and when we stand together, things change.
There is the electorate that is, and then there is the electorate that should be.
34 million eligible poor and low-income voters did not vote in 2016. If just 20% of those voters in swing states were mobilized around an agenda, they could change the political outcome of every election. So we're launching the most massive voter mobilization and turnout campaign in history of poor and low-wage voters, allies, and religious leaders.
People are dying, but we know it doesn't have to be this way. And so we are calling on everyone to join us in this Poor People's Campaign, a national call for more revival.
We are here, we will be seen, we will be heard, and our power will be felt. We don't need to be an insurrection. We are a resurrection that will be felt across this country. Are you ready? 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 We are a resurrection, and we are ready. And